San Antonio, Texas. We are on YouTube. This is the Disc and That Show featuring Southpaw Rob and...
Hey man, how's it going? This is C-Rod. Happy Friday. Happy to be here. Sitting down with two wonderful gentlemen that need no introduction. We got Alan Janzen, Jimmy Zamora. I'm just going to kind of, let them take it over right now. Just tell them real quick who they are, what y'all's PDGA numbers. We'll get rolling with the show.
All right.
You want to go high-low, or you want to go low-high?
Go ahead.
All right. The newer one first. All right. I'm Alan Janzen, 159076. Just started playing in 2020, so I got that high PDGA number.
I'm Jimmy Zamora, PDGA number 20375. I've been playing disc golf for about 22, 23 years. Part of the PDGA for 20 years. So this coming year will be like year 21.
Wow.
Yeah.
People don't even know it's been around that long.
I
It's been
know.
around a while.
Yeah.
You've been in the local scene for a minute here.
Yeah.
When you got a 5-digit PGA.
I know, right?
Yeah, I started a long time ago.
Playing with Ken Kleinwell and everything.
I got to see those guys throw. Yeah, it's a competition.
Dang, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get into the content, and
Yeah.
it's a great night. We have two of the gentlemen that are representing Mint Disc. I'll let them kind of shout them out here in a little bit, but they'll talk about a few things that are going on with Mint that are coming on. But right now, really, what's going on right now?
Yeah, and before we get started, I just want to say thanks to all the subscribers, the viewers, everyone who's been supporting us. We appreciate it. We continue to get better at this, figuring out things on a weekly basis, getting help. We have Trevor Byers, if you know him, a local guy in Austin, helping us out with the video, audio right now. Shout out to Trevor. Thanks for helping us.
Yeah, thank you.
Kudos.
Kudos. Thanks to continue to support us, like us. And again, hopefully we can start to bring this to you live as we progress in our journey.
Nice.
Can't wait, guys. And thank you so much for agreeing to be on the Disc and That podcast show. And we want to know kind of what's going on with you, what's the future hold, and but just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into disc golf. I'd love to hear that story.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
All right. Well, I had some buddies in high school. They played frisbee. Just screwing around with it and stuff like that. Later on, once I finished school, got into like my 20s, ran into them again, and they were just like, "Hey, there's this, it's kind of a new game, a new sport type of deal." So I was kind of like, "All right, cool." So we went to Old Settlers Park.
I love Old Settlers in Austin.
Yeah,
It's Round Rock, Texas.
It's Round Rock, Texas. Yeah. And it was actually one of the top 5 biggest courses in the world or in our country at that time.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, Old Settlers. It had
Is the layout similar to what it is
No,
now?
I think it's
no.
gone through a restructuring. It's gone through some construction.
Yeah, it was a wide open course, par 66, I think. Back in the day is what it ended up becoming at the highest, and then it slowly it changed to what it is today. It was a house design back then. This one was a house design as well. I think.
Yeah, it's a beast of a course. That's some tight lines. If you've never played in Round Rock, Texas, Old Settlers Park, they have concerts out there. They have
It's a big park.
It's a big park. There's
It
soccer
is.
fields. There's all kinds of things you can do out there. But they also have big cross country tournaments there. I know that's where they have states for UIL.
Yep, they do.
In Round Rock. But
Just to give you an idea of the course.
yeah, so that's in North Austin, right? That's
Round Rock, North Austin. It's like a couple towns up. There's Pflugerville, and then there's Round Rock, and then there's Georgetown, and then from there it goes on to Belton
and then
Taylor,
like
and Waco, and all that stuff comes in.
35. Oh my
So are you
gosh.
from Austin?
I'm from Round Rock, Texas.
You're wrong. Okay, I used to live in Pflugerville, so
Yeah,
pretty familiar with the area.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
crazy.
Yeah,
So,
tell us about it.
So tell us about the Settlers experience, or
Okay, so we get to the park, and I'm not used to seeing a disc or anything like that. They're small, right? So I'm used to seeing a frisbee.
Yeah.
So these were new. I was like, wow, these are kind of sharp edges. It was a Polaris LS.
nice.
That's what it was. So I was like, wow, this is cool. So this guy Tom, he gets up there, and hole 1 is like it was like almost 400 feet downhill, and he throws it in a different way. That the way we throw it, it's
Right.
like all arm and
yeah.
hip, and he parks the hole. So for me, my mind was just like, wow, how'd that happen?
Somebody created fire right in front of you.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, for sure.
Like they just invented fire.
Yeah. After that, I grabbed the disc, and of course, no, I was throwing it straight up in the air. It was only going like 100 feet, whatever.
200 feet in the air,
think
like 50 feet back.
I probably threw it like 10 times to get to the bottom, And then hole 2 was right by the water, along the water's edge. So right away, again, up in the air, oof, in the water it goes.
Oh,
So just as, it was cool. So, because I was going left a lot with it, another guy that was there was like, well, try this stingray out. Stingray kind of falls over to the right. So,
end of it, right?
Yeah, end of the disc. And he was like, kind of like, use your arm more like the way a fan gripping a big frisbee would, like bring my fingers in a little bit.
Yeah.
So I got it to go straight. So once I got it to go straight, then I kind of started figuring it out a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't real great, but then after that, after that first round, I went home, started, trying to check out things on the computer back then. We're just typing stuff up and looking at things and realized that
What year was that?
it was. This was had been like what 2000. 99, probably 99.
Computers are around.
Yeah, 2000, somewhere in there. I started.
AOL.
Yeah, stuff like that. It was disc golf TV was around. I think one of the
Really?
first things to see
That part,
was on.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah, that was,
So when that happened, I went out to Old Settlers Park all the time. I'd go out there.
let me just fix your mic. Sorry, so we can hear you a little better.
Oh yeah, sorry. Went out there. They were setting up the course for a tournament. I had never seen a tournament ever for a disc golf tournament.
Yeah.
So
You're
it
like,
was
"What's this?"
it was national doubles. One of the last national doubles that they were holding
Wow.
out there at Old Settlers Park.
Was it a PDGA event?
Oh yeah, so it was a disc golf it was a big event. Everybody was there.
Wow.
That was when I got to see the top pros, playing doubles.
Who was there?
Oh well, I saw Scott Stokely for the first time.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Yeah,
He's tall, right?
Yeah.
He's really big.
overhanded roller. It probably went like 400 plus feet back then. Which was like unbelievable. Parked at like 10 feet away.
Wow.
And
You
I
got
walked-
crazy forehand, like
There was
over
a
here,
lot of-
like Alan over here.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Spot on,
legendary.
Atlin.
Yeah, there was a lot of legendary disc golfers that I watched play doubles, and after that I was hooked because I could see how far they were throwing and just everything.
And then you fell in love with the game,
Oh,
with the
absolutely.
flight of the disc, like
Absolutely.
everybody else does. When
Yeah.
you finally get to see that disc
Yeah.
fly the way it's intended,
Yep.
or that's where we keep coming back.
Yeah,
man.
and that's where the competitive side, I'm sure, came out because
Yeah.
Were you in
absolutely.
any other
Competitive
sports in
person.
high school or
Yeah,
college or?
No, I played sports all through school and stuff.
What was,
when I got to my senior year and I didn't go to college and stuff, but I played sports the entire time. So when I found disc golf, it was easy for me just to get in that. And,
What sports were they? Did you play?
I played football,
Wow.
little bit of baseball, but I also had fun in high school too.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so when I got out of there, I had a lot of good contacts, and all of a sudden ended up having some friends that were actually finding disc golf too at the same time, and I could see how disc golf was starting to grow and catch on, stuff like that. So I just kind of stuck with it. I fell in love with it. My main thing though was that I wanted to throw far. That was the one thing I wanted to do. I
Who
wanted
doesn't
to
wanna
throw.
throw far,
I
right?
wanted to throw far.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to throw 500 feet, and I remember going to the football field all the time to throw, all the time. And then I would go out to go play. After that, I started building on that, and then before you know it, I ended up, becoming someone to go up against in tournaments and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
It
you
was
got
fun.
quite the resume, which we'll talk about here, and you got some stories that I want
Yeah.
the viewers and the listeners to hear because you shared a few rounds that we've had, and Jimmy's he's a solid player. He's played all over the country, I'm sure, and he's definitely a professional disc golfer that's here in town and a great spirit, great energy, great guy. He does a lot for the local scene, but he's also willing to mentor, and I appreciate
Yeah.
him kind of taking me under
Yeah.
his wing and helping out. Like we've gone to the course and stuff like that, and he showed me a few things, and he's very technical the way he breaks the game down.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing for people who are just getting into the game they try to overthink the breakdown of the step, and they get all in their head and stuff like that.
Sure.
But you make it to where it's like no nonsense, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that's why I really enjoy playing. We played at Starkey.
Yeah, and having someone who knows the game, right? Like sometimes, like me, I think I know the game until I talk to guys like Alan and Jimmy, and it's like, yeah, they break it down on a whole nother level, right? And it's interesting and funny thing I say that too is because when I first had picked up disc golf, I was literally just going out to a field before I shot, my plus 30 at Lakeside. And,
Plus 30. You lost probably a lot of custom discs.
I lost 2 discs, right? What is it, 3 and 4? And, but before I did that, just pulled up, got my bag out. Jimmy's like, hey, you gonna play, man? I was like, yeah. And he's like, cool. And then he randomly just started talking to me about disc golf, stuff I wanted to hear that I didn't know. He looked at my bag and was like, yo, he's like, this will be a good disc for you. This will be a good disc for you. But yeah, out of nowhere, like I said.
The destroyer way, Chris.
Met Jimmy for the first time, open to helping and open to just talking about disc golf. So it's cool to have people like him in the community. So that's why, we have them on the show today. But yeah, going off, to the counterpart.
So
Alan.
another Mint team member.
So we've heard we've heard the name. From
This guy takes every ace pot in San Antonio.
He's good, man.
And
He's
we've heard
good.
the
If you haven't
name.
checked him out, where can they find you? Introduce yourself.
Is
Who
a
are you?
local legend on Instagram? Is that what it is?
People want me to be for some reason. I don't know why. I'm Alan J40, ALANJ40 on Instagram. So if you want to find me there, you can find me there.
He's got some pretty sick videos.
Or just, feel free to hit me up on Facebook if you want. But yeah, I try to post a little bit. Actually, the funny thing about that Throwing Thursday thing is it got started from a friend of mine who I met through my wife. My wife's went to school up in Connecticut College,
Nice.
and she played Ultimate with Justin Chu, who now plays up in the Massachusetts area. And he started doing this Trick Shot Thursday thing, and he hit me up and he said, "Hey, check this out, see what you can do." And I started doing these little, quote unquote trick shots in the backyard, in my practice basket. And I don't know, I just started doing it, and then I realized that it's a little bit silly throwing, 75, 80 feet in my backyard. And I was like, you know what, some of these aren't really tricky. Let's just start recording some content on the course, just because cool stuff happens every day on the course. You got guys throwing in from a couple hundred feet out. You got aces. We've always got good ace spots down here in San Antonio, so people are always hunting. So
Austin, need to catch up.
Yeah. So I just started kind of here and there when it looked like there was a good ace run, or I knew there was a Kevin Fullman or Mark Lozano.
Shout out to the Pro Line guys.
Sending something out of basket, I could get it on film real quick, see what happens.
So did that ambition of Trick Shot Thursdays, is that kind of what brought about Alan Janzen playing disc golf, or?
How did that start? What's that story?
No, that was definitely well after that. I didn't play disc golf. Wasn't my first disc game. I started playing Ultimate in 2004 or 5 time when I was in college, Oklahoma, and I played that forever. We always played some level of disc golf on the side with our Ultra Stars. So we'd go out to play in the park up in Norman. I don't even know the name of the course that we played out there. I haven't been back since I started playing disc golf, but I should probably go.
There's a few nice courses over there in Oklahoma. I played a few of them in Oklahoma City, but never in Norman.
I was planning on going to the Pro-Am up there middle of the summer, and I decided to kind of back out of that, but maybe next year.
That's right, they did have that. We've thought about it
Yeah,
too.
we thought about going. Was it a B? It was an A tier, right?
I think it's an A tier.
Yeah.
So I might
We're
get
gonna go over there
at some
sometime.
point. But yeah, so I was doing that, and then I left Oklahoma. I moved up to the Northeast, and I was still playing Ultimate. And I went back to school up there, and the Ultimate team at university there, Catholic University of America, they had an urban course on campus. So we played a 21 hole with our Ultra Stars around campus, hitting trash cans and newspaper receptacles and doors and stuff like that, and pissing off the campus police.
And how long ago was that?
That was 2006 through 2009 or so. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. So I always did that, and I don't know, I just never really thought of it as a sport in the same way that Ultimate was. I never saw a tournament like Jimmy did. I never saw people competing. So I never really kind of picked up on it that way. But I played Ultimate for 15 years, played up on Northeast, came back here, played out of San Antonio, played out of Austin. Was able to go through sectionals, regionals, played in nationals a couple times, played at Worlds in 2018
Nice.
with a team out of Austin.
Wow, it's a pretty recent, not so long ago.
Yeah, it was a mixed masters team. So women and men played up in Winnipeg. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, my last big ultimate tournament, we lost in the finals and we got second. But yeah, I got to where that was just too painful. I kept having like little chronic injuries that kept with me.
Yeah, a lot of pivoting.
Yeah,
and, most definitely.
And it wasn't a direct pivot though. It was once kind of COVID hit and we started doing remote work. My wife and I were both remote working, and we were just trying to get our steps in. So we would go walk the greenways every day, get 10,000, 15,000 steps in the greenways. And after like 3 months of that, I was so bored of just walking the same trail every day that I was, let's go play disc golf. Let's go check out the course. And so we brought our Ultra Stars out there. And actually, we ran into, I'm going to butcher his last name, Brandon Salays. Is that how you say his last name? I've never actually asked him. But Brandon, we ran into Brandon, and this is my first introduction to Brandon. I was playing behind him. I was playing as a solo. I think I just bought my first actual disc golf disc. I bought an E-Mac Truth and a putter, like probably a Warden, something from Academy or Digs. And I came up on him and a group of 3 other guys. I can't remember the whole group yet right now, but it was Brandon was there, and they were like, "Oh yeah, go ahead and play through." And I decided at that time, no, I want to see you guys play. I haven't actually watched anyone play this game. I didn't look it up on YouTube at the time. I just grabbed a couple of discs and went out there. So I played from hole 14 through 18, playing with them. And afterwards he was like, "Hey, I got some discs in my car. Let me hook you up." So he gave me 10 discs out of the trunk of his car. And that was like the first bag I had playing disc golf.
That's nice. That's the San Antonio scene too, that, you know, they like to give it back, and Brandon's a good guy. He's always on McLean, and he's got his crew out there that's out there playing on the regular. But that's really nice of him. So what happened after that?
So I just kept playing. I knew Kevin Fullman from Ultimate. We played Ultimate together in the same team back in 2010 and 2013, I think it was. He kind of dipped in and out of Ultimate, and I dipped in and out of the San Antonio Ultimate scene. I would go back and forth, play one season with Austin, play one season with San Antonio. And so I kind of hit him up and got with him, played a few rounds with him, realized there was a little bit more of the community as far as like playing minis, getting with the ACDC community, and just started doing that. And then, you know, my wife and I, Megan and I, don't have kids, so we have maybe a little more time than some other people. So I just started playing every mini there was.
So how long have you been playing disc golf now?
Probably June or July of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during COVID as well.
Yeah, it's about 3 years.
3 years. Nice. That's kind of when you started, right? A little bit earlier.
Started kind of beginning 2021. Yeah. So.
Nice.
That's good. That's good to hear.
He's gotten really good really quick. If you don't know who Alan Janzen is, he's got his PDGA number. What are you rated right now? You're up there 980 something, 970 something? Yeah, he's getting up there, but that's a ratings. That's a whole other thing. But no, he's definitely a solid player.
No, you're closer to 1,000, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 993.
Yeah, man, I'm taking away points from him.
Do your research, bro. No, but ultimately, I mean, that just kind of gives you an idea of the caliber of players that these guys are. No doubt. But
I don't take it that seriously. I mean, I play a lot. I compete a lot. I don't take my rating super seriously. I do try to play a lot of tournaments, and actually I think, and Jimmy maybe doesn't agree with this the same way that I think about it, but since turning 40 and being able to play in Masters events, I mean, that opens up a whole world of like competition and travel that I don't think I would be doing if I was playing MPO.
Right. No, definitely. And that's actually kind of something I want to touch base on here in a bit as well too. But I mean, since y'all started, right? I mean, both in Texas, but I know y'all traveled, you know, many places. Alan, you have footage from everywhere. Jimmy, 20 years. I mean, plus I'm sure you've been places as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
pre-internet apparently 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's when you can just roam around and know what to do.
That was the funniest thing.
Printing out MapQuest.
20 years ago, these guys were thinking they were just.
It was www.com. Remember that? www. And then you have to type the whole thing out.
No, that's definitely one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, that's old.
Yeah.
It's like the gateway they used to come in, the gateway computers used to come as a little cow. Do you remember those?
Yeah. But
or like a cow box. I don't know. Maybe I'm just showing age. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely the age.
Hey,
watch
no,
out,
I'm just
watch
kidding.
out.
Just
I
kidding.
can play MP40
But,
and MA40, so I'm in the same boat as these guys. Maybe I'm not quite there, but I'm in the same boat as far as not talent, but definitely age.
Yeah.
No, but
It's all about you
yeah,
on the
but
inside.
definitely going back to it. I guess I want to start off like most memorable moment, right? I mean, in your playing time, if you can go back to one like pivoting point, maybe something that you learned, experience that just was like you can go back all the time. What has that been for each of you so far?
Jimmy, you got years to think about that.
Yeah.
I
Do
do.
you want me to go first?
Yeah, go
You
first.
just
I'm
think
gonna
about
shuffle through the hitters right
he's
now.
gonna go to this little.
I'm gonna
Father
look at
Dex.
It's dialing up right now.
the Rolodex. Remember that? The
Rolodex.
Rolodex.
Dang.
Man.
Well, I'll give Brandon credit first for handing me that first stack of discs. So that was a pretty memorable moment. He also always gives me a hard time about it. I mean, he's like a famous San Antonio internet troll for sure.
Yeah.
And he every time I see him, he
Is he
He's
like,
like,
remember
"Oh,
me,
you still have that
remember
phone?
me.
Give that phone back." So
Fella, you keep beating me with the local minis.
so big thanks to him. That was a huge moment, I guess, turning point kind of.
You always remember those moments.
Yeah, that was awesome. As far as like tournament play and kind of big moments, I guess when I played Capital Texas Open last year
Photo.
in MP40 and came down to the wire and won on hole 18, throwing like a 330, 350 foot forehand up to the basket, playing it about 15 feet, and then through some immense amount of stress, making that putt and hitting the birdie to take a win by one stroke over Travis Powell, who,
Good
if you
player,
ever
too.
play with him, yeah, he crushes.
Yeah, he does.
So if you think about hole 18 on Met Center,
Oh, yeah.
if you played it,
He's definitely got that advantage there.
oh my God, he's putting it 150 feet past me up in the fairway, and I'm looking at it, knowing I'm just a stroke ahead, and he's probably going to have an easy approach.
Just
so,
putter in.
So hitting that forehand and actually having it work out and making the putt.
It's not I don't know if they made it an island. Sometimes
It's
they make
kind
it
of like an island.
because
Yeah,
it kind of peninsula is out that way, and it's
yeah.
definitely OB everywhere. You could skip by the basket and go OB or land short, left or right, and then then you're looking at a par putt from 60, 50, whatever.
And I'm sure that's not mentioning the
It's a separate
20-mile-an-hour wind that was blowing for sure.
Out the Met Center in Austin. If you've never played that course, it's a beautiful course and a championship style course. Great course in Austin. So what happened after that? So what were you thinking in that moment? Like what was going? Like you mentioned something about coming over that putt. So walk us through what that sounded like, felt like, your heart, your sweat, your tears. No, I'm just kidding. Whatever.
Well, I can tell you it hasn't gotten better.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know if putting is something that does get better for a lot of people, and it hasn't really gotten more comfortable for me yet. But yeah, just the stress of knowing that you putt through 18 holes of a tournament round, and for me, one or two of them I don't quite give it enough, or pull it a little bit right, let it go a little early left,
It's that one moment lapse that your kind of brain like a little, and I feel it too when I miss, and I know I miss. I got that thing is like I lost my focus for that one split second, and when I do,
And it's funny, I heard Kristen Tar say that it's kind of stayed with me where she's like, separating the mental is huge, right? I mean, obviously that's a big part of it, but she was like, you gotta trying to trick your mind into doing, thinking about other things because we train our body to do it. Our body knows how to do it already.
Yep.
And then it's just really training that mental game more than anything.
repetition.
Yeah, that's the one thing putting I think that really tends to hold me back in a lot of tournaments is tournament putting or just putting in general, really.
Yeah.
And I remember at that tournament specifically, I really struggled putting the first round. I occasionally will have rounds where I throw the disc very well off the tee and I approach it well, and then I don't putt well. And I had that moment in the first round of that tournament, and I was just really frustrated. I played really well. I ended up shooting well, but I knew that I left so many strokes out there on the course, and I was kind of frustrated about it going off the course. And that's kind of the thing with disc golf is you're playing against your own expectations most of the time, more so than you are against your competitors. So you can walk off the course from first and still be incredibly frustrated with the way you played the round.
Yeah.
You know, you can't really account for what other people are doing. You can kind of only account for yourself. And that's the way I felt after that first round. And then I remember kind of, I don't know if you guys, well, you do know, everyone that follows other disc golfers on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere on socials, every time we want to post about something, you know, everyone's like, I had a really frustrating round today.
Yeah.
And it's like almost every time you look at somebody's post, it's like, well, I did some things well, but, you know.
But I threw it over
every
you 10
time.
times.
I try not to do that too much anymore. I try not to post the
negative.
The
The
reflective piece on.
Yeah, I've tried to really like turn that
Yeah.
into posting about somebody else's good thing instead of my bad things.
It's a great way of putting it.
Doesn't mean it's not
Doing
still in
it.
my head, but I'm trying to switch the way I post about stuff.
And it helps. It's funny you say that. Like on the course, I've kind of talked myself into it because I used to get frustrated. I used to get a little like, man, like putting in practice. Sometimes it wasn't going. But I've made it a habit to give someone like a prop, like hey, good shot, props to them. You know, something like that. Whenever I'm not doing well, or I don't, and I feel like that energy kind of rubs off.
Yeah, I mean it's not fun reading about people's frustrations all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, we all know they're there.
Yeah.
So and we all see the scorecards, so we know that there was frustration there. But this time it actually ended up helping me out because a friend of mine who I actually got before I got it was in a disc golf all the way. I was making pottery, which is kind of a funny twist.
Okay.
But I
That's
was
really
a friend of mine who teaches.
It's like the ghost thing.
I knew it.
We're thinking the same thing. We're thinking the same thing. I don't know that song. I would sing it, but that's cool.
Yeah, so my ghost he sent me a DM, and he said, hey man, like just enjoy your skill out there, like enjoy your skill. And I told myself that for every putt on Saturday and Sunday of that tournament, and I putt really well on Saturday and better than Friday on Sunday, and ended up coming away with a win. And so I remember that moment too, like just enjoy your skill.
Yeah.
You know,
That moment when you had that mental breakthrough, where
Yeah.
you kind of can get into that peaceful space where it's just like, hey,
But
let's
back to
have-
having fun.
Yeah, you can't always get there. It's hard to always be there, but it happened in that moment and at that tournament, and it turned out great for me.
That's cool. And I was like, well, that one of your first big tournament wins, first win.
It was the first big tournament win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Cold was an A tier, right?
It was an A-tier. That was my first A-tier win.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I remember playing that one. It was, I believe it rained, right? One of the rounds or so.
I think leading up to the tournament it did. I don't know if it rained during the round.
I'm like, please say it rained, so I make
I'm sure it did.
You make your round look
makes
better.
it, yeah, that's my round.
It makes my round look better. Guys.
Hence the putting. Hence the
That's the
putting.
funny. So, I mean, you're touching on a subject that, is one of those subjects that a lot of people don't like to talk about, is putting.
Yeah.
Putting is not easy. So so you got through the mental side of it. So Jimmy, what have your road been with the putting and the
Let's say,
remember
I got through that one tournament. So it's still there.
No, yeah,
Absolutely.
putting comes and goes.
Yeah.
I think it's very much where you're feeling and
Absolutely.
somebody once told me that in order to be a good putter, you gotta enjoy going up to that putt.
You do.
And the negative thoughts that you're walking up to, because I know for a long time I'd walk up to a putt, oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss this, I'm gonna miss this, and it's your negative thoughts that I'm gonna miss this. Oh, crap, I already know I'm gonna miss it. It's that negative thought,
It is.
and maybe your mind kind of already tells you that you're gonna pull it this way. Your mind's telling your arm what to do ultimately, and that
Right.
negative energy will affect it. So then they said that you need to have fun when you go up there. You need to look forward to going up to that putt and making it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So what has that process been like for you? Have you had any putting struggles in the past? And if so, how have you handled nerves and stuff like that? Because I know you've been in the big scene for quite some time. So you've played some big tournaments too. Tell us a little bit about that.
So sometimes the basket kind of shrinks on me. It feels like my disc is like super huge.
So once you play on the beach, right?
Right. And then there's days where I go out and I'm putting and the basket's giant. Disc is just going in, from all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think it's more of a planting a positive seed in your brain
And I think you're one of the people that have told me that too.
Yeah, and try not to let your emotions get the best of you. It's basically like Alan said. It's really you that breaks yourself down. It's not your competitor. Your competitors, they're in their own world doing their own thing, and once the putting starts to go, those great drives you had were just like damn, I had a great drive, and missed the putt for the birdie to, to get gains on the field.
Drive for show, but
And,
for dough.
Yeah, dude, that's the key right there.
Same thing like ball golf, man. It's the
Oh,
same
yeah.
thing, and putting's one of those things that's the difference between a lot of scratch golfers and those guys that are out there doing it for
Really
millions
do.
of dollars in the PGA.
Mhm.
Yep.
Because
That's really
it's
it.
a putting. Tiger. I mean, back in the day, he was known for that, and
Yep.
Owen Scoggins here lately has been on a fire. I know she just got hurt at Worlds and stuff like that a little bit. She looks like she's hurting, but her putt. She said she putts like 300-400 times a day.
Yeah.
So no wonder her arm is falling off.
And they were saying she plays like 2, 3, 4 rounds a day as
Yeah,
well too.
so-
And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow.
But the repetition you're talking about, the positive C-Rod, you've gone back and forth between your game and the positivity, but your putting has come a long way. And
It's coming along. Like, for example, like today, I just a mental game. it's like I would just
playing at
in
the mini or what?
Yeah, just playing in a regular
House of
mini.
the Flying Disc, shout
I'm
out.
doing well, yeah, shooting well, everything like that. Back 9, I'm like 4 down, and then they're like, "Hey, you're tied with Kevin," and then all of a sudden, my 10-foot has become 30 footers, and I'm like, "Golly!" And I'm like, "Okay, cool." Not doing, I was able to come out, but that just kind of gives you an example of how quick your mental game could affect things, right? Even like sometimes, like thinking positively can go negatively. Sometimes I'll pull up to putt, and I'm like, all right, you got this. Oh, that's close. And then it's like sometimes I trick myself out, and it's like, oh man, you missed a close putt. You told yourself you shouldn't have missed it.
Or I'm in your ear saying, "Hey,
It's a big basket, and they
It's
call
a
it
big basket. It's behind an ocean.
But
The
yeah,
chains
no,
are stiff or frozen."
it's a journey. It's a journey. So I like hearing these guys, Story Allen, Jimmy, guys who putt great right now, who are still always just looking to putt better.
And you guys have two totally different putting styles. You have your own style, and you have your style, and has that evolved at all? Like, have you gone through like maybe being a straddle putter to like now being a staggered putter, or were you always the way you've been? Both of y'all.
Well, for me, actually, I'll look at like, top pros putting styles. Paul McBeth was a real good one to start.
Oh yeah.
His is real fixed position. So is Bradley Williams.
Oh yeah.
Very smooth, very clean releases. But yeah, for me, I just,
Is it at that push spin or
it's
just...
it's like a push spin. It's almost a little bit of both for me. Sometimes I can sit there and spin the disc, recover my left side a little bit and spin it out, or it's just kind of that from the waist out like you normally see.
Mm-hmm.
But that probably just comes from just me from playing for so long. I kind of like switch my putt just a little bit here and there for the situation I'm in. And that's just me being confident and thinking that and telling myself, "Oh, you can make this. You can do this."
Yeah.
And stuff.
angles, nose angles,
Right.
and then your wrist action. That
Mhm.
becomes muscle memory, and then,
Yeah, and not being scared to putt.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that
Not
has
being-
a lot to do with
not
why
being
people
scared.
miss. It's just
Yeah, don't be scared to miss.
like putting
You
at
should
the basket
embrace
as
the
opposed to
moment.
through
And,
the basket. You know?
yeah, just embrace the moment, and then run with it. I've seen a lot of times where great drives, they're right there, and then all of a sudden it's like for eagle. I've seen it in our minis too, where the guy's like right there, he walks up, you can see the, everything kind of going through the brain.
Anxiety.
Yeah, they're sweaty.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like a 10-foot miss.
Yeah.
Or it's on the band, or not on the band, but on the cage itself,
Right.
not even in the chains, and it's
Just
like,
scared to
oh
miss.
man, yeah,
Like,
that's
like
what
Worried
Hashtag
about the
baby
miss
arm.
before it even happens.
exactly. So
Yeah.
it's almost better to take yourself away from the ending of the equation,
Yeah.
just remove yourself from that and not think about that so much.
In our group, we call that baby arm.
Baby arm. So what's your advice for that, right? Because I've been struggling with that too, right? And I'm sure a lot of other AMs struggle with that. Right? Like you've been having a good day putting, then you pull up to maybe like a 15-footer on a putt where you tell yourself, "I'm there, should make this," right? Then you get up to your putt and you're everything goes through your head on that. What do you step back, right? Do you go through it? Do you think about something else? How do you
What do you
pursue
think,
that
Alan? What's your
moment?
advice on that one?
Oh man, I don't know if I'm even the best person to ask about this. I will say, playing with Austin McNabb a lot, he's seen me struggle putting a lot because we play in the same car.
Oh yeah, MP40
Yeah.
guy
So,
out of
McNabb?
Austin.
Yeah.
Oh, Austin McNabb? Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
a good guy.
Shout out to
He's a
another
good player.
team member.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a
Cool guy. I met him for the first time, I think, in Junction at the Sizzler.
Yeah, you
Cool
gotta
guy.
watch out though, because if he finishes in front of you on a card, he'll be betting on your putts. So you better make sure you're making the
oh
dollars.
yeah, I remember that.
Nice.
Yeah,
So-
I remember that.
guy.
Yeah.
So
No, he's seen me struggle putting, and I still struggle putting. Here
Yeah.
and there. And one of the things that piece of advice that he gave me that does work, I think, is make sure you accelerate through your putt. Because a lot of times I'll get down to the bottom of my putt, and then I'm thinking I'm giving it a certain amount of spin, and I'm not actually
It's kind of like a dead arm
pushing
putt.
through. Yeah, it's my wrist is spinning it, but I'm not pushing to the basket.
Yeah.
And so
And do you feel that like in your weight momentum, like your everything like that?
yeah,
like
it's
after
kind of short, like kind of same thing. I short arm it,
Mhm.
and it doesn't get up above the rim, or it ends up left because I don't finish the putt towards the chains.
Yeah.
That's a common miss, and I think that's great advice because that happens to me when in my putt, and I know in Chris's putt that's the same thing. It's the spin coming out, and then it's got to have that motion of the simultaneous
that follow through.
push, and
It's
the, like you
almost
said,
a-
putting through the basket
Yeah.
as opposed to putting at it. You know,
That's right.
I'm
Putt
guilty
through
of
it.
that. Just try to, you know, you're like, oh, to try to make it in there, but
Yeah.
you know, now the confidence is I'm looking forward to putting now. Like that's one thing that has changed in my game and completely changed my mentality in my when I walk up to a putt. If I think a negative thought, I walk away. I walk away and I'll come back and then just routines. That's another great advice that I've gotten from somebody is that you need to have a routine.
You do.
And if you don't have a routine, then you're getting up there and you're not creating that muscle memory. That's the best advice that I could give to any am is just that's changed my putting. I know for sure, and I know you guys. I've seen you'll have your routine, and you go the more you go through that, the more comfortable you feel.
Yeah.
And it's just like anything else. You think the guys that go get the gold medal, like you know, they go over there and they run the 100 for the first time. You know, and it's like it takes moments and moments and practice and practice and practice, and just. You know, especially when they jump off the blocks and things like that, like that's practice. That one spot can really make or break that round. And I think it's the same thing, that little detail.
Yep.
It's definitely worth noticing. But yeah, that's good guys. That's some great advice.
Yeah.
There's a story that I definitely want Jimmy to tell.
I was gonna say, pivoting back, I know we've heard from Alan about, you know, a memorable moment that he had, and you know that's a good one, right? Always your first big win. That's something to always celebrate. It's something to remember. It just kind of takes you back to like sometimes, you know, when you're struggling in a tournament, you remember things like that. It's like, man, do what I did here, right? You're able to go back to a time where you did win, where you were successful, and I always kind of remember that. But yeah, I mean, Jimmy, I'm interested too. I mean, you've been around a while. I mean, what's a good memorable moment for you? I mean, what got you to?
I've been
where
looking
you're at
forward
now?
to this guys
Yeah.
all week. I'm just saying.
Okay, well, you know, there was a so there's a lot of things that kept me in disc golf, you know, like just absorbed in it. You know, my first tournament in '01 was the world or national doubles was in was it '01? That was the last year over at Old Settlers Park. '02, it was held again. World doubles was held over in Wimberley. So finished second as an intermediate amateur. That was my first tournament I played with a gentleman named Justin Lawrence, and I played against Sean Lowe and Wayne Atkinson. Those two guys are out of San Antonio.
Really?
Yes, sir. They won. Me and Justin finished second. Then in national doubles, that right there was enough for me to say, "Oh man, I can really do this as an intermediate amateur."
Mm-hmm.
And we got boxes of discs, 2 big boxes of discs each.
Nice.
And tons of collared old cotton shirts, you know, that were just
The
too
old
damn hot to
school.
wear. You know what I'm saying?
Sweaty.
Right. So then, you know, it's like practice, play. The years went through. 2016 comes around. You know, a lot of, you know, life has happened for me. You know, got married with Brandy. You know, life, like, you know, everything is going great.
Mm-hmm.
Playing disc golf. 2016 comes around. They're having like was it Texas States kind of? The Open.
The one they usually have at Tyler.
It was just
it goes between Houston and Tyler.
Yeah, it was like just before they turned Waco into the Pro Tour. It's like the year before.
Charity Open.
Yeah, that's like one of the last years. It was like the annual Charity Open, I guess, and then it went into the what we see today.
The Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Right. Yeah, and then that was the same year Bradley Williams won the year I'm talking about, 2016.
2016.
That's right. So
Texas Cactus.
yeah, practicing all week in Waco, right, for the tournament. And I was up there. I'd seen, you know, Simon and Eagle, and they were the Flying Circus at the time in the Discmania van. Got to see those guys throw putters over the guy.
What they call
pond.
themselves?
The Flying. It was the Flying Circus with
Flying-
them. They would do that. They would hold that event back in the day.
Yeah.
They would be throwing.
Yeah, they were
forever.
throwing over hole, what is tournament hole 18.
Right. They were throwing putters and all kinds of stuff over
That's
then.
far. That's a far carry. If you've never played
Yeah.
the Beast and that, what is it, like 330 to 340?
Shoot, it's far. It's a long one. What do you think that pond shot is from the tee box to the?
It might be closer towards 400, I think.
It's
I
way
would
up
throw it,
there.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't go across the pond.
Right.
Yeah, I don't go across the pond. I lay it up.
Right.
I mean, you can shoot straight across it and it's probably 330, but
Yeah.
if you want to get to the pin, you're talking probably 4.
And there's no reason to go for it if you're not gonna go for it. You know.
Right.
Like,
You
try to
better-
get there.
Mentally better be ready to throw that. It's not
Oh,
just
yeah.
And
say you're
mentally
going to
be
do
ready
it.
to go out of
And
bounds.
even when you lay up there, like that shot's still not easy because the pin's near
It's still
the
nervy.
water.
Yeah, absolutely it is. So, 2016, I told myself, I was like, man, I'm going to have to really, like, if I want to compete with these guys that are coming in, I'm going to have to go to that course and, like, really do some work. Not just that, not just on the course, but with myself, too.
Mhm.
Get some time and go and throw every day. I did it for 2 weeks prior to that tournament coming up. That week of the tournament, I went up there and played the practice rounds, kind of put myself there, assimilated myself. The night before the tournament started, I got a phone call from the TD, which was Vinny Miller at the time,
Oh, Vinny Miller.
right? So
He's
he's a new state coordinator, I think, something
Yeah,
like that
for-
for
yeah.
Texas. So he gave me a call and he was like, hey man, he goes, we're down at the end. We had, I think somebody dropped. I think it was maybe like Simon Lazard or something like that. We're down at the end. So they just
the lead
happened,
card, the final
Yeah.
day,
right? No, not the final day. This is the first round.
Pre-registration.
first and pre.
Yeah, this hadn't even the tournament hadn't even kicked off yet. So the night before, he gave me a call and he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "Hope you're sitting down somewhere, And
You're
I'm
sitting
like,
down?
and I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" I thought maybe I
The
was-
day before the round.
Yeah. So he was
Wow.
like, "Hey, we're gonna go ahead and put you on the lead on the
Feature card.
feature card." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't think anything of it. I was like, "Oh, you mean the last card? Cool. All right." He was like, "And Joe Mister is gonna be there."
Oh,
And I was like, "What?"
Yes.
And I was like, Jonas, and I was like, you mean I'm gonna be on camera? It's gonna be live? And then he was like, yeah, because you're gonna have to mentally lock that in right now and
Wow.
and do it. And then so like I didn't sleep at all that night. Of course not. I mean I tried to, but subconsciously,
It's like I don't even sleep before seats here.
I was
tournament,
freaked
you're
out.
About to be on camera.
I was actually freaked out. So played the round, and my nerves got the best. I was actually doing okay in the tournament, but I could see when I watched the video of myself play, I can see where my mind got the better of me when really I should have just been happy with the pars I was taking and not being so concerned about taking the 3 for the birdie when I could have made that up.
And who are you playing with?
The lead that card when we went out, it was Eagle McMahon, Bradley Williams, and Miles Seaborn, right from up north,
Yeah,
Dallas
Miles
area. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we're getting that's on Joe. What 2016?
Yeah,
Waco's on
2016.
YouTube, guys.
It's
Check
on
that
YouTube,
one out.
yeah. It's one of the very first ones, like before some of the commentary. I don't know if they've added commentary to it already, but it was very cool.
If you've ever watched an old YouTube video of disc golf without commentary, it's not good.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same,
You have
dude.
Yuli, and now you have
Yeah.
Nate Sexton and
You need some
Victor.
enthusiasm there.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah,
it
you
gives
You just hear the
personality.
air,
Emotions.
or
You
you'll
need
randomly hear a dog barking in the background, and just
Yeah, it's kind of
That's
different. But first
I
round.
saw that video. I remember you did you can a huge putt on 18 from in the weeds?
Something. Yeah, 18, and like I did a few of those. I think hole 2, I had a good putt or something like that. But overall, I had a bad round first round. I was really nervous, really kind of like had a little bit of doubt. Everybody's making great shots, and these guys are top players in the state of Texas, and in the country as well. These guys stepped up. So
Yeah.
for me, I was just like, man, don't. And for me, I was getting a little bit inside myself. Like, man, I'm a little embarrassed. I'm on camera, man. It's
Kind of
like,
worried
"Oh,
what everyone's thinking of you, everything
exactly.
like that.
What
yeah.
are they gonna think once this airs out?
I'd be happy Gilmore going that far, man.
Yeah,
It's
so I
crazy.
think I went 63 that first round, and I think Bradley was they were like 54, 55. They were coming in hot scores, man.
Wow.
So then I went home and kind of thought about what I did. And I was like, man, I said, you just got yourself. It was just you.
Yeah.
So I went out the next day, went 56,
Nice.
jumped back up, and then the next day it poured and rained. 56 again. I want to think it was probably one of the highest rated rounds that last day. I went from way down at the bottom, jumped up. I finished my last day top 5 tied with
Nice.
Zachariah Johnson.
Nice.
Cameron Todd was in there, third, and Eagle Man was second. Bradley won. So
Nice.
once I told myself that I could mentally persevere and get myself back out of the slump, regardless who I was playing with, I knew then really that I could really like do this, chase it down.
You compete with anybody in
And
the world.
compete with anybody in the world and not be scared of the moments and stuff like that. That really shows
And that's what
me.
sports is really about. Those moments that, you know, and that's the difference between those professionals and you know, the amateurs. You know, that you see a lot of nerves, and you know, you go to these tournaments and you can tell, you see it.
Well, yeah.
It's the difference between MA1, MPO, and bottom of MPO and top of MPO. I mean, it's just like doing things flawlessly, consistently.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
For real.
And the putting, I mean, most definitely the difference in the putting. You know.
Yeah, for sure. And so, what changed that? You know, overnight, right? I mean, you go in bed, you kind of thought about it. I mean, I'm sure you didn't see the footage right away, but I mean, instant like what? I mean, obviously you told yourself, you know how to do this, but like what? How did you approach that next day going into it?
Oh, so the next day, you know, it was mostly just me being calm and telling myself, the guys I was grouped with, I was already looking at them and I was like, I wasn't trying to be ugly or nothing, but in my mind, I was like, no, I was like, I'm better than these guys. I'm about to win this card. I'm about to jump and go, you know. But
About to jump up 50 spots, guys.
Yeah, I was like really serious. So I was, you know, I just changed my mindset. And it kind of like changed my mindset like to the day whenever I shot that 18 down with
Oh yeah, the live oak, it was crazy. We played the meeting, he was 18
Same
down.
thing.
He was sick putting, the sickest
It's just the
putting
same
I've ever
thing.
seen.
We're still talking about that.
But it's kind of the same mental lock, you know, not letting anything.
Yeah, because when I saw you putting, like he was putting from like 60 feet, and it was like it was a 10-footer. It just looks so fluid, and like that's probably when you were mentioning the basket looks like
it's giant,
like it's huge.
Yeah, can't miss. You know, you got it. You're not thinking anything about it. So yeah, doing the 56 the second day, and I went home, and then I told myself I was like, I can do this. Even Brandy was like, she could tell I was down that first day, but she had told me that night. She was like, don't think about it.
Move on.
Move on. Next day was 56, and I knew it then. I was like, oh man, you know, it's on. And when the rain came, I knew I could. Oh, sorry. I knew I could play in the rain. You know, sorry about that. I knew I could play in the rain because I used to throw standstill. Yeah. I knew I could do that. Right. So I kind of knew that I had the edge on a lot of people because a lot of people they prefer the
run up.
You know, pristine conditions.
And Ricky,
you know,
Ricky was talking about that at Worlds. He's like, he was sitting. Right now, Worlds is going on 2023. Yeah. But one of the things he mentioned in one of the commentaries, or I think it was like an interview, one of the things that he's practicing in the fairway is making sure he had those standstills. And I saw it. Yep. Sure enough, during the round, he knew he was going to have a lot of standstills because of the weather.
Yep.
And that's probably one of the stronger parts of his game. Like him and Corey Ellis, I feel like they have a big advantage just because of their run up or lack thereof, and then the standstills.
If you can lock in a standstill and throw it a good 280, forehand or backhand,
that's all you need.
You can step out of some real stuff. You put some trouble and get the par, get the birdie, and win some tournaments. I mean, you really can. It's the fundamentals in the game that actually get away from you when we're playing and stuff like that. You know, it's the simple things. Where you go back and you're kicking yourself in the butt. Like, I can't believe I missed that. I can't believe I threw that shot so hard.
Simple approach, overthink it. Yeah,
exactly.
Like
so I mean, for me, I just made sure my mental was positive the entire time. Yeah. I didn't let a miss fluster me. I just picked it up, put it in the basket. I told myself, oh, somebody else is going to do the same thing. Yeah. And I kept it at that. I went to the next hole.
Never too late to get the next birdie.
Right? Yeah, I mean, Rob was actually telling me, he didn't fill me in. He was like, hey, Jimmy actually got some pretty interesting story. Believe it or not, he was on Jomez. He's like, I know you're.
I checked it out the first time he told me, and I was like, man, that's Jimmy.
Yeah, I was like, that's crazy. I didn't know that. He was like, but I'll let him. He's like, he's gonna talk about it here on the show, so I'll let him do it. So I mean, all this is kind of just me hearing it for the first time. So I'm pretty. And some of the other intrigued.
And a lot of other tournaments I played that were, had the other top pros come into Texas and stuff like that. I find myself grouped up with like Colleen or Austin Hannum or an AJ Risley.
Yeah, there's some other ones out there. You're playing with Colleen, and I saw them. I stumbled upon them during some other rounds that are in local, not San Antonio, but local Texas.
It was in Marble Falls.
I like that course, Marble Falls.
At the Open up there, one of those up there. Yeah. So once I find myself hanging with them guys, that's why I tell other guys that they could do the same thing. Jump into the game every once in a while and just stir it up a little bit. See where you end up. I say you might shock yourself one day and realize how good you really are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think Alan believes that though. We always tell him he's really amazing and he's the local legend. And
just give it a spin one day. See what happens.
Is it hard to live up to?
I think it'll be. I think it'll be a good day for him.
Oh yeah.
So something I wanted to ask you. I guess I saw at Worlds, right? Y'all were like going in a final day, tight score. Did y'all play on the same cards? on the same card, or was it?
We did one day.
We
yeah.
did
Yeah.
one day together.
We did one
Yeah.
day.
And they're talking about the worlds, the Masters worlds
Well,
that just
Masters
happened.
World.
Is it Arizona?
It was in Flagstaff.
Flagstaff.
Yeah, right here. Look, did y'all see that on camera?
Yeah.
See that little thing? That they gave us a map of the whole town. It has all the courses on it
Oh,
and
that's pretty
everything.
cool.
For those of you who've never been to
Awesome.
Flagstaff, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, when you're not playing disc golf, like there's some beautiful scenes out there.
Yeah.
So what was that experience
Yeah.
like?
Were y'all battling each other kind of a little bit, or were y'all trying to like have fun with it? I mean,
Uh,
it's like,
Y'all looked like you were having fun on Facebook.
Yeah.
You can't see all the dust. All the dust. It's just dust and dry. That's
Yeah.
all it was out there.
Super dry out there. Yeah. But yeah, I was really trying to play against Alan. I was really trying to play for the state. I really wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that if
You
anything,
represented well.
yeah, to make sure that I finished in the, my goal was to finish top 10. I mentioned that to Alan one time in the chat. I was 7 strokes out of the top 10 is what.
But
I
you're over
ended up.
top 20?
23rd.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 23rd.
Not bad.
But I knew it was just, execution. Pretty much
He's like, up to my standards.
execution and stuff like that, putting. I can, it's just, I think for me it was probably maybe a couple of missed putts here and there, or just overthrowing the bucket and taking a par or something like that. Something, that got me a bogey because I think I carded like 7 bogeys over 5 rounds.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's
so
what
how
it was.
tough were the
That's
courses?
pretty good compared to my scorecards.
Yeah.
That's really good.
It
Yeah,
looked like a Christmas tree. We're green and red, green and red, green and red.
I could not get rid of the bogeys.
yeah, that was bogeys, man.
At least 2 a day.
Yeah, something like that. I know Thorpe. Me and him played together at Thorpe, right? Was it Thorpe? Yeah.
Is it wooded? Is it open? Or what is it?
We don't need to relive.
It was just it was actually a good day. He had a little bit of a rough
Is
day,
that when
but-
you one of those awesome reflections?
No, I didn't write
It's like I was sitting in my tent alone.
No,
But he bounced
Or was that one of
He
the
did.
instant forget?
That was
That was an instant delete from my mind.
I gotta go get a snow cone.
Yeah.
Get some good food and just forget about it.
Yeah.
Happens,
No, I think I
happens.
missed 2 holes back to back. I started with the only
There was
birdie
like
in the
2
car in
putts.
hole 1,
Yeah.
and then hole 2, I ran a C2 putt that left me with like a 12-footer, and
Yeah.
I missed it. And then took a bogey in the second hole. And then,
For Dogie.
yeah, and then on the 3rd hole, I thought I threw a great drive. I thought it was a great spot. And then I get up there and I'm on the right side of the fairway. I thought it was on the left, and which was weird. And so I threw a layup that was like a little bit under a tree, about 12 feet away, and I missed that one too. Went bogey on basically bullseye putts, and and this guy's like, forget about it.
Yeah, I told him, I said, don't let it bother
You think
you.
I'm gonna forget about that?
It hurt him. It hurt him a little bit.
Tell me
There
how
were some
I'm
left
supposed to
hooks
forget
came
about
out of the course right there.
Yeah,
Oh, like,
so,
you turned into
no,
Chris
it was-
Rodriguez for a little bit?
it was fun to play with Jimmy, but that was a bad day.
Yeah.
It was- we played with who? We played with
Dutch Napier.
yeah, Dutch
Oh,
Napier.
okay.
And who's the other guy, man? Wasn't it was it Chris Shotwell?
No,
No?
it wasn't Chris. No, you know what? He was he had his son caddying for him. Can't think of his name.
He was from California.
Yeah,
That's right. I forget his name.
can't think of his name right
Sorry
now.
about that, but
He's not gonna listen to this.
sorry. He might. You never know.
You never know.
It's gonna be on YouTube.
I'm gonna go and tag him, especially.
I'm gonna go tag him, but at random guy from.
Oh, we don't know who it is.
But I'll look at
We'll
the
do some
cards in the
research,
rounds.
yeah.
We'll do some research. How about that, Trevor? You want to get on that real quick and see who that guy was? Masters 2023, Flagstaff.
Not important.
But that's awesome, playing on the same card, with your
Oh, yeah.
hometown,
Oh, yeah,
friend,
absolutely.
buddy,
Yeah,
everything like that.
all those people there, and we end up in the same car.
Yeah,
They were
that's
freaking-
crazy.
A lot of people talked about it too. They were very surprised that out of all the people that were there, we actually ended up playing almost the same numbers. And then,
Yeah.
he actually had the better round on the last round, right?
I saw you over
Yeah.
time for like 17.
I know, I was following you.
Oh, yeah,
I really
we were-
was following you.
Yeah,
I was
we were
like,
there,
oh,
and then
yeah,
we dropped back a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. But it was good, man. I'm glad we finished where we did.
That's
I
awesome.
don't think I was that high on the last round. I think I was
Second to last round?
I moved up. I don't know.
You were in 8th at some point, or you were like in the top 15 at some point, at one point,
Yeah.
and then you went down, and then you were
I
kind of
think it
moving.
was what you're thinking is I teed off first.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I was in first place.
Yeah, first place when everybody was still
at
sleeping.
8 a.m. I think that's it.
Dang it,
Teed off at 6 o'clock, and everybody's over there, and then teeing off at 1.
Yeah.
Right, it's all beautiful
It's all
outside.
beautiful, no wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it actually was no wind at 8 a.m. when I took off. but it was.
You were the first card out, right?
We were
First round.
first card, 3 of us.
Yeah.
I played with Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was like me and another Texas guy that I play with all the time here.
That's awesome.
Very first
Wow.
card
That's
out.
good. Kind of makes it a little bit more comfortable, you know, just knowing someone that you're playing with and whatnot. So
It was
that's
fun.
pretty cool. But I guess like kind of leads me to the next question, right? I mean, y'all played Masters. Didn't too bad. I can imagine you want to go back, but I mean, what's
I'm going
your
next
vision?
year. By the way, I'm going next year.
Under 50?
Yeah.
Kansas.
Oh,
MA
40,
50,
40,
MA
that's right.
Yeah, it's gonna be in.
Or MP40, hopefully.
I think it's gonna be in Emporia.
Kansas, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've been to that course. It's
Yeah,
a
there
beautiful
you go.
course.
Yeah.
Perfect for Jonas. Not that anybody's
But,
gonna be watching me around, but whatever.
I don't think so either. No, I'm just kidding. But
I heard Chris was going to take the podcast out there to follow your
yeah.
We could do a live view there.
You
Maybe
could do it.
My boy Trevor will
Make
go
sure
in
you
a few
might-
years.
You
Like
can
Nick
mic up.
Sexton when he does the skit, what does he do? The chump skirts
Chumps.
chumps. Yeah,
Yeah.
he just carries the
I'll
microphone.
be the chump.
You can mic up your live round.
Yeah.
Just have it right there.
Somebody was saying that let's put a
Emotions.
GoPro on our forehead or on our chest and throw it. I don't know what that would look like. You know, like
Well, your
Yeah.
camera would just get a lot of woods and trees. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding. Rob.
here we go.
Just kidding.
It's
You
Kansas.
have to get
Kansas.
him.
But,
well, I'd stay in OB. Getting not
Yeah.
staying in bounds. I guess would be the challenge. but-
Yeah, but yeah, I guess question I wanted to ask, right? What's y'all's like vision for yourselves, right? Like, what do you
What's
wanna
your goal?
accomplish in your disc golf career? Like, what?
You'd be
And I
really
know that's a
happy
pretty-
at this point if you get to this point. That's
Or-
where your ultimate goal is at.
Or have
what
you
is it?
already got into that hole?
Yeah.
Shoot, man. For me, it's just I'm just gonna keep playing as long as I can.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're gonna be that dude that was 108 or whatever.
yeah. And you know who I look up to
MP
a lot. I
100.
see these guys playing in the Open as like Ron Converse. You see people like what's the other guy's name? Just had a heart attack. I forget his name.
Oh yeah, Johnny McRae.
Johnny McRae.
McRae. There's a lot of guys out there, man, that are still.
At
Yeah.
Worlds last year, or the year
Yeah.
before, he had a ace.
Yeah, dude, it's just crazy.
He's
So
good.
if I can live up to some of those standards right there, keep playing top disc golf till I'm like, I don't know, 100. 120.
That's
You
why I
know,
said
something
MP
like
100. Jimmy Zamora.
But I mean, I think just
I love seeing that though. When I do see a tournament, I see MP 70.
70?
Oh,
Yeah.
not MP, but MA 70, MA 60.
I've seen
and like,
MP 70, dude. It's
he's
amazing.
trying to hang on to 100 so he can get his first Worlds win.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna keep on doing it. Just keep
You
on
gotta-
doing
you're
it.
gonna have to beat
Zamora.
Dr. Smooth over there. What's his name? Minnesota dude.
Oh, Kiloviska.
Kel LaVisca. Yeah,
Oh,
you're gonna have to
yeah.
beat him and.
Hey man, they were super good this year, man.
Yeah.
That was insane.
No kidding. I just looked at the scores and I was like, damn,
They
minus
touched
30s. Yeah, did they?
I think they
I think
touched
they
50.
yeah, they were like at 30s minus after
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
third round or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's like 10 down a round almost,
Yeah,
something like
I was
that.
like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Joe was the most impressive, I think. That
Yeah,
guy,
Revere,
Yeah.
that guy
Yeah.
crushes the disc.
he does.
Wow.
Crushes.
And I know whenever you see somebody smash it like over 400, it looks different.
Looks
Yeah.
Like
I'm sure
the
he's probably
way it
crushing
flies,
500 almost, huh?
Like it's over 5. But if
It's
you've
over
ever
5.
seen somebody throw it with that much speed and that smooth or whatever, like Mason, like he doesn't look like he's throwing it hard, but it's just the form, and then
Yeah.
he's in that power pocket, and it just looks real smooth. But when you look at somebody like a Anthony Barilla or like the disc just looks different.
yeah.
I'm like, I saw it when I was at the LGBT event over at the what used to be the Glass Blown Open, which it was there in Kansas. I was watching him warm up, and I was just like the disc looks different. The spin, the amount of revolutions that are on that disc,
Absolutely, yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, you can hear it. You can hear it. Sounds
You can hear that
One
snap.
day, maybe, hopefully.
Just
Get
like Drew
close.
Gibson, right? I miss Drew Gibson. I'm not gonna lie, miss that dude.
Yeah.
He's I hurt right now. I think he plays for Millennium, right? And
He
Drew Gibson?
Drew Gibson, right?
Isn't he Infinite?
Yeah, Infinite.
Infinite.
Is, yep. Mhm.
Infinite disc, yeah.
Infinite.
But he's hurt. But you know, I digress. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, Alan, what are you looking forward to in the future, or how do you know, what are your goals?
That's a question I haven't thought about. Goals.
I send you the email.
Well, he has to be able to see it.
Oh, yeah. Let's not get into the whole email,
I had to work today, all right?
I was at work, okay, when I sent it, all
I
right.
got that email at 1 a.m. this morning.
Hey, man, I couldn't sleep either, man. I was thinking about being on a feature card, but
In your dreams.
in my dreams.
Goals for disc golf. Compete, just compete. I'm just trying to compete. I've been enjoying traveling to different places that I haven't played before and competing in A tiers, big events. It's been a lot of fun.
You're like, if people come around, you come around to the local meeting, like, who's this dude? And then he's taking all their money. You're that guy, aren't you? You're the guy who shows up to the
Do you
random
go to
meeting.
when you? I know you take a lot of footage of you
Massachusetts
playing.
and
And
stuff,
do you
yeah.
play the meetings with people over there? Or you just play for like casual mostly.
I've mostly casual.
Yeah.
I've played a few like league rounds and stuff, like going up to Vermont. The last 2 years I played the Brewster Ridge Open, which is at Smugs, which is
That's what's going on. That's where Worlds is at right
Yeah, I
now.
remember you posted.
Yeah, so last year I finished second in MP40, and then I won it this year, which was awesome.
Nice.
That was a cool moment against Steve Brickster, which
Oh, yeah.
was even cooler because Brickster designed that course,
Oh yeah.
and Brickster
Beat him in his own home turf.
I mean, he's got Brickster destroyers out there. Like,
Yeah, he's super good.
he's a very good player. He returned the favor last weekend in Maine, but he's but playing with him is cool. But when I went up to Brewster Ridge Open, they do a Vermont league that happens every Tuesday, and so my wife has family in Vermont. Megan has her whole family's up there, so we usually make out like a 1 or 2 week trip around that tournament, or we have the last two years. So I went to the Tuesday league round, which is, it's a rated round, so it's not like a casual thing. But
League,
I went to the league flex, and it's so much more fun than the event itself, because you get to play. I got to play blues on Brewster, which I think is what the women are playing this weekend. I think the FPO is playing blues. And then same thing this year, we played blues at Brewster again, and blues. So gold at Brewster, my best round at gold is even. I mean, I think if I spend a little more time practicing, I might shoot better than that, but it's a very tough course. It's tough to score if you don't have elite distance like these MPO guys are. They're making it look so easy.
Freaking 450 and plus down the tunnel. It's just
Look like a forehand too.
yeah, and it looks like they're throwing 200.
Easy, so easy, and they're throwing mids. They're throwing mids.
Mids, the whole
When you have to throw drivers up those hills and through those trees, you don't get good kicks with drivers.
No.
Yeah, like Chris Dickerson
doesn't
did
end
that.
well.
Yeah, I forget a hole 9, 10, 4. I think it's a 480, 490 hole when he goes 45 past with the bus.
Yeah.
Is that the
That was
downhill
today,
one?
right?
Huh? Yeah,
Yeah,
today.
today I saw that.
And I'm like,
Yeah, I did get the birdie there on goals at the Brewster Open.
nice.
That felt good, but I was throwing the driver. I mean,
What's your favorite holder?
Oh man. So out of the two courses, I do really like Brewster better than Fox. This is the heavily wooded Brewster. I think it's just way more fun.
Serene.
You feel it fits your game a little bit more?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's more fun. Fox is way more scoreable for me, but Brewster is more fun. It's such a much better.
Kind of like a W.R. Jackson.
It's beautiful. I've never played with W.R. Jackson, but
You ever played W.R. Jackson? I've never
Seen
played
it.
it. It's on my bucket list.
This guy over here.
It's all wood.
No, I've seen it on. No, I've seen it on tour though. You know.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I spoke as I was the first person.
But it's a beautiful course, beautiful wooded course. It's up and down in the mountains. It's amazing. I wouldn't even pick one hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. I know I can tell you a hole that I don't like, but I couldn't pick a favorite. Probably hole 15 is the one that I would say I don't like. That's the it's like a tunnel off the tee, off the green, off the goal. It's like tight tree line, and you've got to be in the island on the other side. If you catch one of those trees, you're going to the drop zone, guaranteed for, because the drop zone's still 300 plus from the basket.
Wow.
So don't like that hole, but all the other ones incredible. But yeah, it's fun to go play, toned down rounds for rating.
Yeah. No, yeah. So I mean, y'all played a lot of courses. What's your favorite? I mean, okay, this is such a broad question. What's a course that you're like, okay, I would like to go back and play this course again?
Oh gosh.
Old Settlers? No, I'm just
No.
kidding.
Tell Adam Case I said the ranch.
The ranch. I was at the ranch today for.
I mean, Ranch, beautiful course.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. Yeah, I mean,
Adam Case, shout out to him.
Yeah.
Beautiful course, the ranch. Is it Little Past Gonzales or like
It's in Wilder,
it's
Texas.
Wilder.
Wilder?
Yeah.
Yeah, just past Lowly.
Going
That's
towards
slowly,
Houston on
yeah.
I-10.
You
Just-
pass the Buc-ee's, you're
That's
going in the
right.
right direction.
That's right.
It's literally off the highway.
So
Yeah.
I'm curious, right? Because I've never played out of state before. I've kind of stayed San Antonio, Gonzales here. How would you compare the ranch to a lot of those courses that you're talking about? I mean, is it something that you can be like, okay, I can go here and get some good practice in if I want to go play some of these courses and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The ranch, I would say the places that you would want to practice here to prepare you for like Brewster, Maple Hill, Northwood, would be like the ranch, Roy G in Austin. anything where you're hitting a tight fairway line and you're trying to stay on the fairway. Anything where you can work your way through woods with, flip up to flat, drivers or mids, things like that. That's kind of what you need on those courses. So
Okay.
those are great places to practice that.
Oh yeah.
That's good. So, no, I mean, this is all great stuff. I mean, y'all provided up a lot of, honestly, advice to a lot of amateurs, right? These people that are, having
These
questions
people.
about those.
These people.
AMs, right? Especially, right?
These people.
Hearing from professionals, right? And when I say professionals, I mean, you definitely are. I mean, y'all narrowed y'all's game down a little bit more. Y'all practiced more. Y'all became more consistent. And real quick, I want y'all to shout out. Y'all have sponsors, right? I mean, I want y'all to.
And how can
give a
they
shout
follow
out to your
you and
sponsors.
like how can they support you and stuff like that? Is you guys have this for sale and stuff like that? I know you do.
Yeah, I got this for
So
sale.
just kind of how can they support you and shout out?
What I want to hear, what's your favorite course, Jimmy?
Oh, my favorite course is going to probably be Lake Claiborne. Lake
Louisiana?
Claiborne State Park, Louisiana. It's in Homer.
Okay, so not too far.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. Really nice. In the woods, hills, up and down.
Do they have any PDGA events there, or is it just?
No, I think they only have like one PDGA event or a couple. Maybe it's a couple.
Mhm.
They have a doubles there. It's a nice place. Me and Jamie Callis played a doubles event there. We won it like 2 years in a row.
Nice.
We were like called Team Double Mid. Yeah. But yeah, Lake Claiborne's a nice place. If you've never been, you should check that out. It's got a full-on camping. It's in the state park. So the
Nice.
state does the work for the disc
So it's
golf.
probably well
Oh, it's
manicured.
beautiful. Yeah,
Nice.
the big logging company comes in and takes trees down because you're not taking those down.
Right.
Your local people ain't taking that tree down now. But there's full-on camping. You can go primitive, full cabin with Wi-Fi, all the bells and whistles.
Wow.
They got a man-made lake there. It's in there with it's netted off for swimming. They got sand and everything, sand beach and all that there.
Yeah, that's
It's
pretty cool.
it's
It's a little
really nice.
getaway.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nice,
It is.
nice.
And the two courses are they're very championship style. You'd be surprised if you get out there and play that course. That it's like a little hidden gem right there in Homer, Louisiana.
Homer, Louisiana. You heard it here.
Yeah.
Got a gator on the fairway.
Speak of gators.
Nah, it's kind of it's on the foothills, kind of like
So
starts
it's
up.
above where
Yeah,
they can
it's-
swim to.
Nice.
If you find one up there, I'd be
Be
maybe
very shocked.
I don't know. I mean, you never know. Alligators they can walk. So
Yeah. So, Mint sponsored,
Yeah.
gentlemen, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
been with Mint just for a while.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of like how I knew you from Team
Yep.
Mint, and Alan, I guess new addition to the team this year, correct?
This past year, you
Yeah.
just signed with them, right? This past year.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
It was a surprise. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I guess surprise to you, but I mean, not surprise to
No,
anyone
man,
that's
you definitely deserve it. Well deserved,
Yeah.
and both of y'all.
I appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Yeah,
We're gonna just wrap this up. From the bottom of our hearts,
we appreciate you. Yeah, sitting
we
down.
really do appreciate the advice you've given us. I know we've
Yeah.
had many conversations on and off the course. We look forward to following you guys and follow these guys on Instagram, on social media. They also have discs for sale, so they're here locally and stuff like that. Support them, and it goes a long way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so we appreciate it like no other. Again, we're just trying to grow the community. Kind of help anyone that we can. Kind of shout them out, just let them know, right? Everyone I think needs to know what's going on in the community if you're involved in the disc golf world. Just to, you never know when you can reach out to these guys, how they're involved in the community, things of that sort. And these are great resources that you can use here in the community. But before we go, I just kind of want to throw out there. Tournaments coming up, right? Make sure to show love to all these TDs that are doing hard jobs.
our
to
boy
get this
Trevor's
tournament.
running tomorrow's at Kevin Monahan's
Trevor
ranch.
Oh,
putting flex
nice.
at
There you
Monahan
go.
Ranch.
The
That's
flex.
Goose Promotion out of Austin. They're doing a
That's
lot of
right.
good things. They got Circle G coming up.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to play Circle G.
Yeah, Circle G.
For those of you that don't know, that's Roy G and Circle C. So that's gonna be a cool. Those are
Cool
two
little
nice
run.
courses.
Oh, yeah.
And you got other big tournaments coming. You got the Rumble at the Ranch coming up next
Yep.
weekend.
That's right.
You have some flexes at at Turkey Ridge and Seguin.
This weekend, Flex with Legacy in Austin North on Sunday at Turkey Ridge, and you got the Chrissy Fountains holding the Fuego Flex at the ranch
On
here
Monday.
on Monday. So
On Monday.
make sure to make it
So
out.
Labor
to
Day
that.
at the ranch.
y'all better hurry up and get this out if you're gonna be
Yeah.
shout out
Oh,
on
no.
weekend events.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, it'll be out.
It'll
but
be out here soon.
we
for
appreciate
sure.
you guys coming on so much. Thank you so
Yes,
much for
yes.
coming on to the Disc and That podcast show.
Hey, if anyone has any throw-ins they want to share and want to throw on my throw-in Thursday, let me know because
Oh yeah.
you know I like to grab the organic ones if I can. I do have a lot backed up now because as part of that $2,750 eight spot at Nanny last night, I was on a card that hit 2 aces.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
maybe they're sponsoring me today with like 10%. But,
I love it.
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
find me on social. Send me a message if you got an ace or something.
Oh,
you wanna
yeah.
share.
And again, how can they find you?
I'm on Instagram, Alan ALANJ40, or just find me on Facebook and just send me a message or something.
Same. Jimmy Zamora. You know, you can
On
find
Facebook,
him.
definitely on Facebook.
Yeah.
He's on Facebook and on MySpace, I think.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Yeah, guys, it's been a pleasure. We appreciate you. Hopefully, we can have you all back again here in the future and talk more.
Absolutely.
But thanks for coming to join us, Alan, Jimmy.
Hey, thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.